a patient advocate at a cancer center here in Scranton. Joseph?
Thank you, Joseph.
Welcome home, Mr. Biden.
They call you Joseph or Joe?
Joe is fine, just like you.
No, I just wondered. When they called, my mother called me Joseph. I knew I was in trouble. That's the only reason I asked.
No, Joe is fine. But, Mr. President, welcome home. And right now I do work in a cancer center in the area. I make under $15 an hour.
Oh.
During these COVID times, unfortunately, I had to open a credit card with 25% interest just to cover my groceries. I'm barely making ends meet. Received no hazard pay, no raise. I'm struggling not only mentally, but financially. I look up to you, and as a middle-class healthcare worker, do you have any plans to stand up for us healthcare workers?
Absolutely. And the idea you're not making a minimum of $15 an hour is just wrong. Wrong. No one should have to work 2 jobs to be able to get out of poverty. You're busting your neck, and what you're doing is you're saving people's lives.
Exactly.
You're helping them, and you're risking your own in this moment of COVID. You know better than I do that what happens is a pre-existing condition. In fact, what's happening here is a lot of people who have cancer, who are taking various drugs and they, in fact, are more susceptible to catching COVID and dying than anyone else. So, first of all, thank you. Number 2, the reason I'm running is because, look, the interesting thing for me is I view I really do view this campaign as a campaign between Scranton and Park Avenue. And I really mean it because, you know, the way we were raised up here in this area, an awful lot of hard-working people busted their neck. All they asked for is a shot, just a shot. All that Trump could see from Park Avenue is Wall Street. All he thinks about is the stock market and telling we're going to do all right. Everybody owns stock. How many of you all own stock in Scranton? In my neighborhood in Scranton, not a whole lot of people own stock. No. And so we have to make sure that healthcare workers are paid and paid a decent wage. And $15 an hour isn't enough for a healthcare worker. And so, again, I won't take the time now, but, Joe, if I can get your address, definitely. Let me get to you. Go to joebiden.com, and you'll see what I talk about needing to be done with regard to healthcare workers. And, by the way, mental health. You know as well as I do, and the nurse who was just up here knows. We're in desperate need. There are more people who are at risk and worried today than any time in modern times, and especially the youngest generation. People between the ages of 7 and 17, they are more at risk in terms of mental insecurity than any generation. And that's why we have to make sure we have more social workers and psychologists in our schools. Look, we learned drug abuse doesn't cause mental illness. Mental stress and mental illness cause drug abuse. We've learned so much that we can change so much. And that's why we have to make sure that the super wealthy start paying their fair share. So we can do the things we have to do to make life better for hard-working middle-class folks.